Back again with the
Top ramen.
podcast about nothing.
You know
Kick
what?
us off.
And I love this. This is what everybody needs to do. Just talk about nothing. I think the world's too serious right now. So, welcome anybody that's listening. We're talking about a whole bunch of nothing, and we're having fun doing it. So, come in, sit back, enjoy yourself.
But not exactly about nothing, because if you missed our first episode, we came to the table and we're doing it again with
That was
two
pretty
topics.
entertaining, though.
Two topics. You've got a topic. I've got a topic. And we've got some stuff to talk about. So who's starting? Are you
I love
starting
your
with your
topic. I love your topic, and I think that's what we need to roll with. To be honest.
Okay. So the topic today is, for me, remember, just two topics. Today is travel etiquette. So you might ask why I chose this topic.
Why did you choose this topic?
Thank you for asking. I've been traveling quite a bit often, and not for fun, not for leisure. Traveling for vacation, leisure is way better than traveling for work. I've been traveling for work, so you're naturally a little more grumpy.
So, what is the difference? I mean, you're not stuck in an office. You get to go somewhere else. You're not paying for it, and you're not where you normally are. You're out doing something different than you normally would than somebody say that's stuck in an office or has to go to office every day. So,
It's
um,
true.
just trying to get just trying to get the gist of it all here.
We're going to talk about the main problem, which is getting from point A to point B. So a lot of this is going to be airplane / airport etiquette. Gene and I live in probably the two worst cities for mass transportation. So we can't really talk about like subway or train etiquette because it just doesn't. You guys don't have a subway there.
We got a light rail. The light rail. Oh my god, man! I could tell you some really cool stories about the light rail.
Okay, I didn't even know you had a light rail. So we don't believe in that in Tampa or most of Florida. So we're stuck. I mean, we'll get into Uber etiquette and what do's and don'ts with Uber. But my first thought is airline, airplane. What is the first thing you think of when I say airplane etiquette? What is just the first thing that goes through your mind?
Don't hold a conversation on the speakerphone around everybody else. And
Excellent one.
and I'm gonna segue off here. I'm getting ready to get on my soapbox here for a minute, and I'm going somewhere with this. So bear with me. So I was at work, and the day started out good, ended up bad. I wanted to actually hurt people, and but you can't do that because you'll end up getting fired and canceled, and who knows what other things can happen. So for me, cooking is my therapy. So get off work, go to the store, and I'm in the store, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make spaghetti and pasta. So I go and I start getting my stuff, my Italian
Just I'm
stuff,
gonna make spaghetti and pasta.
and you know where I'm going with
Add a protein in there. We
yeah,
don't want
exactly. Yeah.
pure pasta on pasta action.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I
go.
get some hot Italian sausage and I get some sweet Italian sausage. I like to mix the two up. Anyway, that's for another segment.
I didn't know you were Italian.
I know I just love spaghetti.
Who doesn't?
So I pull in, and this lady pulls in, and she's on her phone on FaceTime with a friend of hers, Emily. And shout out to Emily, by the way. If you're, I know
She's
you're
not listening.
no chance if you ever watching this. But if it ever comes up and you watch this, I'm just saying hi to you, and I'm sorry, but I'll get to that later.
Oh boy, this
So,
this
so here we are. I get my basket and I go in. This lady rushes in front of me, gets her basket, and she goes in. She's got her phone. She's on FaceTime. And I'm going somewhere with this. So on her phone, and we end up merging to go down the pasta aisle. And she like very loudly says, "Oh, I think this guy is looking at me." And I'm like, really? Is this what we're doing now? And she's on the phone and she's got her volume all the way up. Her volume is like peaked. And so they're talking about, and Emily's boyfriend cheated on her, and they're trying to figure out what her next steps are. So my belief, and this is where I'm going with this, is if you have your phone on speaker in public, I'm joining your conversation.
Oh, you're that guy.
I am that guy. I'm joining your conversation.
I
So
guess, yeah, it's group conversation at that point.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. So this broad and Emily, they're talking, and she's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get some wine and I'll come over later." I'm like, "You know what, Emily?" I said, "You should go find your ex-boyfriend and kick him right in his nuts. Kick his balls up into his throat." And she starts laughing. And this lady's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, the fact that you have your phone on speakerphone and you're talking as loud as you can, you've invited me to join your conversation." And she looked at me and she kind of looked disgusting. And you know what? She didn't turn it down. She kept. And so I'm like, we get to another aisle. We're down the frozen food aisle. And I'm like, Emily, don't listen to her about men. I'm willing to bet she's single. And oh my God, this lady, she gave me the dirtiest look I've ever seen. She wanted to say something to me, but she was on FaceTime with her friend. So you know what she did? She finally turned the volume down and went on with her shopping. But it was, to me, that's the point I'm making here is in an airport, grocery store, church, it doesn't matter where it is. If you have your phone, you're on FaceTime, you got your phone on speaker in public, I'm joining your conversation. Whether you like it or not, it's happening.
That's a good way to combat the annoyance
Exactly.
of. Now, it does seem to be an epidemic with a certain generation. It seems like it's the older generation that just doesn't seem to understand, like, hey, we can all hear your freaking phone. Or even like I've seen people like sitting, I think like a waiting room I was at about a year ago, and they're watching a video on full blast audio, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, so
Exactly.
that one is definitely on the list. You know what I thought you were going to go to first with airplane etiquette was everyone's favorite thing to do. Well, not everyone. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I feel like half the plane, as soon as that plane pulls up to the gate, everyone has to stand up. Even if you're in the last row, you have to stand up, get your stuff as soon as possible, and then continue to wait for 20 minutes if you're in the last row, at least, to get off that plane. Now, listen, I understand. I've been in the situation where it's like, oh, I got to connect and I got to go from, gate A in Atlanta to, terminal E.
80% of the people don't need to do this. It's a very small percentage. You know,
But is this a people problem or is this an airline problem? I have seen when your flight gets in late, they try to say like, "Hey, let people get off that are connecting," and I feel like nobody does. Like
this is
it's still the same
100%,
shit.
one hundred
Everyone,
percent a people problem. 100%. So
don't you
I,
think the airline should step up and say, passengers, Gene, Rob, whoever else, please leave the plane first, because if you don't, then you're gonna miss your flight, possibly.
yeah, I've been on both sides of it. I've seen where there's been a delay or a cancellation, and you catching another flight, and you need to get off and get to another gate wherever it may be. And I would say 90% of the time, the airline personnel are real good about saying, "Hey, we need to get this person, this person, this person off," or "This is the gate you need to go to." When you get to somebody. They normally have like some kind of transportation, those golf carts, they take you to where you need to go. So I've seen where the airlines do take care of you, But the majority of the time, what I see are jackasses that just they want to stand up. They want to get their luggage out. And, it
It's
kind
go
of
nowhere.
it reminds me of driving. When you try to merge onto a lane and somebody will not let you in, you have to get behind them. This is the same mentality that a lot of these people have on an airplane. They're like, "Oh no, you're not gonna get off before me." And in their mind, I'm like, I gotta get up. I gotta get out here first. I gotta get in front of this guy, or he can't get in front of me. And that's the mindset that they have.
Yeah. So I have a story about this topic, this exact scenario, and it was the one and only time that I almost assaulted somebody on an airplane. Which, by the way, is a big no-no. If you
Yep.
are picking a fight on an airplane, or we might get in some videos that are out there
Automatic
on.
do not fly, baby.
Well, what are the rules? Because I feel like if you cause an incident with an airline, whether you're on the plane, whether you're at the gate causing issues, I think like they should ban your ass. And I think it should be a minimum of 5 years. Like it should go in 5, 10, 15 years. You screw up one time and you can't fly for 5 years, you learn your lesson real quick.
Yeah, you got to take Amtrak, or you got to take Greyhound or Amtrak, or your next option. But wait a minute.
So
So no fly. Wait a minute. So no fly. If you're on a no fly list, does that mean that you can't take the bus or Amtrak or anything, or that's just the airlines that
it's a
we're
no
talking?
fly list. I
Okay.
know those Amtrak trains are flying out there, but
Okay.
they're on the ground. I think to get on
I
the
don't know
no
if like
fly
'cause I wasn't
list.
sure if it's like a travel band, or is it just something even.
I have to look that up. How do you get on the no fly list?
Donnie Pepin, I'm sorry, that's grounds for war right there, man. I don't even know how do you react to something like that? Hard boiled
Wait, what
eggs.
do you say? Okay, so that is also on my list, and it happened to me on my last flight. Um, so that one I don't mind as much, but
We'll touch on this one next, but let's get back to
all
the
right.
no.
So,
Donnie, we're going to talk about this definitely. I have some
so
thoughts.
no fly list is more of a they think you are or you are a terrorist is what I'm gathering from our quick AI results here, thanks to Google.
So the drunk lady that tried to fight the air marshal earlier this year, she's not. She wouldn't be put on the no fly list. I'm guessing.
No, this is maintained by the FBI Terrorist Screening Center. So I don't think,
What?
Karen
Okay,
who.
so now I guess the next thing we need to determine is can who can be put on, because I've seen people get into fights. I've seen people that have stopped a flight. The airline has to turn around and go back to the original airport, and does that person end up on a no-fly list? Let me see.
I
I'm
don't
looking
know.
here.
I think they just get arrested. I do think they just, but let me tell you the story. So I'm flying for vacation. I'm going to Grand Cayman Island,
Oh
which is a great place. You should go there if you have. I think you've been there, right?
no, actually, the minister of tourism is a Bucks fan, and me and him are like this.
So it's a great place. It's expensive though. It's like U.S. city prices there, which so bring your money with you. A lot of people stash their money down in Grand Cayman Island at these banks. But anyway, so I'm leaving from Tampa. I got to fly to Fort Lauderdale. That's like a quick little like 30-minute flight, and then Fort Lauderdale to Grand Cayman Island. So first leg, Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, short flight. We get on the plane, and the people behind us. This was a couple years ago, so this is when people were a little bit more still worried about COVID.
Mhm.
So the people behind us have masks on. I don't remember. Think we. I think we still. No, you did not have to wear a mask. So I probably didn't have a mask on, and the rest of my family probably did. But what happened was the people behind us were masked up, but weren't like really wearing the mask effectively. Here was the problem with that, Gene, is they're coughing really bad, like COVID cough, the entire 35-minute flight. And remember, this is the first leg for us to go on vacation for like a week. So I'm just like, oh, this freaking sucks. Like if I get sick, I'm gonna be pissed. So, and then Carly is in the medical industry, and the medical industry, like, COVID really kind of jaded some people. So
Yeah.
she's really flipping out. She's pissed. She's ready to fight them. And like, they've got the thing like really not on their face. And again, just coughing the entire trip right behind us. So eventually, we land. I try to never check bags. I try to pack everything in my overhead, put it up there, done. So we all did that. We're not gone for super long. We all had a suitcase and a carry-on pretty much. So I'm getting my little daughter and my wife stuffed down as, everyone's disembarking the plane. The two people that were coughing nonstop behind us, as I'm reaching up like this, go under my arms.
I knew it.
Under my arms and almost knock me over to get off the plane. And I just go, excuse me, to the guy. There's a man and a woman. And they didn't, I don't know, they might not even have spoke English, but like I was so
Is that
pissed
cultural? So is that cultural?
to
Because
just run off the plane and knock people out on the way. I don't
yes,
know any culture that does that.
I'm telling you. So going to Morocco, when we were going to Morocco, there was a guy and he did the same thing. Basically, you get up, we get ready to disembark. These rows go off, these rows go off, these rows go off. So I'm getting up, and this guy has his daughter's hand, and I'm surprised he didn't break her hand. And he's dragging her past me, push me out of the way to where I fall back into the aisle for them to get off the plane. And then his wife is looking at me like, yeah, and I'm just like, dude, I think it's cultural. Yeah, because I've seen people that are like, okay, if you're not going to go fast enough, I'm going to go around you. Is their mindset. So
You
I'm
know
just
what? First of all, I wasn't going slow. I don't think you
no,
are
nobody said
too.
you were, but in somebody else's mind, they're like, oh well, this guy is not going fast enough for me, and
One row behind. One row behind.
but that's what I'm
As I'm
saying.
taking the stuff down for the girls.
Yeah, they don't care.
Gene, that was
And
the one time I almost punched somebody on an airplane.
so,
If
kind of getting back to this, I found an article.
Well, hold on, my story's not over. So we get off the plane.
Uh,
Those people are long gone. I'm not like I don't chase people down that I'm pissed off at. Like I can let stuff go pretty quickly, especially if I'm about to go on vacation.
uh,
So we're connecting, and then we sit down, find our gate, and I'm about to go like look at the gift shop. We had like 15 minutes or whatever. Fort Lauderdale Airport. As I'm basically walking across the hallway, this guy's got his luggage and he's going, got off the plane, a different plane, ready to go to, his car, Uber, wherever he's going. And projectile vomit right in front of me. And I can still hear the splash on the tile floor from it as some of it hits my shoe.
oh, he's getting beat up. He's getting the beats put on him.
I mean, it wasn't his fault. He's sick. I mean, try not to throw up in the middle of the airport.
Could
Maybe.
that be the reason he got off fast?
No, it's not that guy. It's a totally different guy. And then that was it. We made it there safely. Beautiful place. Sick for most of the trip.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
That's
why airplane etiquette matters. That was
so
probably my worst
going
travel
back to
story,
the
besides a bunch of like delays and canceled flights and stuff that everyone's been through.
going back to the ban. So terrorism, as you mentioned, a no-fly list was established in 9/11, and I'm sure the shoe bomber and that asshole that made everybody where you can't have liquids on a plane.
No
He
shoes. Shoe thing's over. Like 2 weeks ago.
oh
I,
behind.
well, do you have TSA pre-check?
Yeah, I have global entry, so I wherever I go, I'm just
We'll talk about that in a second.
yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. But so terrorism, as you mentioned, is one, and that will get you banned. Fighting, as we talked about before, is why I say you got to pick your battles, and you have to be like defending yourself in order to not get booted out the plane. So, um, fighting can land you on a no-fly list. Sexual,
Oh. So if
sexual,
I punch that guy, I potentially am on the no-fly list.
yeah, potentially. Sexual assault, and then they have this one here, which is very gray to me: disturbing the peace. That can earn you a lifetime ban. And so what
That's
they're saying is like if your misbehavior lands you on the news, you're more than likely to get a lifetime ban. I didn't
I
know that there were different levels to this where like you can get a lifetime ban or you can get a you know I don't know a medium ban, what was it, like 2 year ban. I guess it all depends.
I don't think it's black and white enough. I think it should be very clear to anybody. Like, all right, so everybody knows it was about a year ago, the woman who freaked out, like a really attractive woman
Oh yeah,
that,
she was
that
hot. That
freaked
one that
out
said
on the plane. And that's
yeah,
why it became a big story, because she was pretty attractive. I think that's why. And well, then there was all the conspiracies, like the guy next to him
was a
turned into a
lizard or something
lizard.
like yeah.
Yeah, of course, right? But she just had a freaking meltdown on the plane.
Yeah, she did. She
What
lost
was
it all.
what was her punishment? I mean, I'm pretty sure she's flying around wherever she wants to right now. It should be
There
clear.
was no punishment for her.
You pull that kind of crap off on an airplane. I'm telling you, it should be clear to everyone. 5 years. 5 years. You're done. Not just that
Game
airline.
over.
All of them. I have a
Game
pretty strict policies. I'll never be the president or anything.
now I was always wondering, is this okay? So you have a travel ban or not a flight a no fly list. That's like the federal government saying this is all encompassing. It doesn't matter what airline you get on. Now the misbehaving on there's like certain airlines that they can a certain airline can ban you, whereas you can't fly this airline anymore, but you can fly other airlines, I believe.
Yeah, I think that happens. Well, American Airlines or
That's
Southwest
like
will be like,
me.
no, you're not flying with us anymore. That's fine.
That's like me. It was 2003. I got drunk, and me and it was eight of my friends from college all got together, and I got drunk and passed out. They stripped off all my clothes and threw me out in the hallway at the Mirage.
Some good friends.
Yeah, they're jackasses. But anyway, so they threw me out in the hallway, no clothes on, and I'm like groggy, trying to figure out where I'm at, and trying to come to get back in. This lady is standing like over me, looking at me, and she's like looking at me all disgustingly, and then she calls security. Security comes up. I'm still drunk, and I'm still trying to fight these guys because they're trying to put a jacket on me, and I get a ban from the Mirage. But I'm not banned from the rest of the casinos around the Mirage at that time. So that's kind of like one of those things. So
Well,
that's kind of where I equate that to the no fly list. There's the federal no fly list where you're not getting on any airline ever. Or is it individual like American Airlines bans me for life, but I can go to Southwest and get on a flight? Is that
I
kind of
think
how
that's
it works?
different. I think that's like if you pick a fight with the stewardess, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you're being rude and disrespectful. I mean, if you get in a fight, then you maybe are in danger of the no-fly list. But like I said, I'm zero tolerance. I think it is a privilege to fly places. And if you act like a fucking jackass, no matter what it is, whether you're screaming, making noise, complaining, just like there's a ton of videos of people having meltdowns because,
And it was
babies are crying.
and it was at its worst right after COVID. When COVID was over, people could get on flights. People were getting drunk and screwed and messed up, and they were just fighting, and they didn't know how to they didn't know how to act. They were savages. And finally it's kind of tapered down a little bit. I've never personally seen an altercation. Well, I saw altercation in a bathroom where two guys kind of waited until they got off the plane. They went in a bathroom and fought. But outside of that, I've never seen anybody like on a plane get into, have a situation.
You ever see a drunk person denied boarding beside
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, yes, I
When I went to one of the last times I went to Arizona, there was a woman who was clearly drunk and they would not let her on the plane. And
oh yeah.
she threw a fit. Again, 5 years. She's 5 years. I never want to see her in an airport again.
Bro, there was a lady coming from Tampa. She was coming with me from Tampa to Phoenix. Beautiful. She was beautiful, but she was sloppy drunk, and the the airline attendant was kind of edged this on a little bit, in my opinion, because she was quiet. Me and her were talking, and she was a little bit louder than she probably should have been because she was drunk. And the lady kept coming by and asking me, "Oh, is she okay?" Or I'm like, "No, she's fine. She's fine." So finally, about the fourth time, this is a flight. What is it, like 4 hours? 4 hours and some change from Tampa to Phoenix. So we're probably, I would say, 2 hours in, and the lady came back again, and she's trying to she's almost passed out. She's nodding in and out. We were talking, and finally, the lady lost her temper. She was like, why you keep antagonizing me? You're antagonizing me. So it was one of those situations where I think the airline attendant was out of line. She should have just left her alone. Should not bother anybody. I'm sitting in the middle. I'm stuck in this middle seat because of I totally blew it where I should have got my tickets like 2 months before, but I waited and didn't get my tickets. So I'm sitting in the middle
Get
seat.
stuck in the middle seat. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Okay. Middle seat, though, I think middle seat has rights to the
Yeah.
armrest,
Yeah. Both
right?
armrests. Yeah. Both armrests.
These see, I totally agree with that. And I never sit in the middle
That's
seat
the
unless
unspoken. That's unspoken.
okay. Like these are the kind of things that need to be spoken about. Like, right? People need to know this thing. And I'm a window or aisle guy. Like I
So
booked that flight
now,
and I'm like, all right, well, I can't sit in the middle.
so window seat gets the privilege of the window. Aisle seat, you get the privilege of the aisle where you can come and go as you please. You sit in the middle. The only privilege you get is you get both armrests, and that's how it works. And that's unspoken. I mean, you could look that up online. I mean, right now, if we bring out our AI homie, he'll tell you the same thing.
What about and I know I can guess where you stand on this one. Now I travel a lot alone. But when you get on that plane, what about like, am I supposed to always say something to the person next to me? I feel like if I randomly sit next to you, you might talk to me for all like that whole 4 hour flight. And in a lot of cases, I don't want to talk to anybody on the plane.
People have lousy self awareness. If it's me, and like there was one lady, and she was so sweet, and we talked from Tampa to from Phoenix to Tampa, just talk, you know, and she was so
Who led the conversation?
she kept
Oh,
asking me,
bullshit.
she kept
You're the
asking me,
guy I'm talking about. You're
no,
you're the plane talker.
no, but when I'm on a plane, if somebody says something to me and they don't say anything else, they end the conversation, they put their headphones on, they pick up a book, or they're looking at literature. I'm like, okay, they don't want to be bothered. they're not gonna continue to engage with me. But if they're like, oh, well, what are you doing here? And they just continue the conversation, I'll continue the conversation as long as they want to. But I'm not going to like force myself on them. That's like this whole Waymo. People like Waymo because they don't want to talk to their Uber driver or their Lyft driver. You're just antisocial. I think Waymo's for antisocial people, but I met some really cool Uber drivers, some really cool Lyft drivers. So to me, I'm not a big fan of that. But if somebody wants to talk, I'll talk. If not, I'm cool with that. I've got my Steam Deck. I put my headphones on and my glasses on, and I'm in Never Never Land.
You go to town. All right. So, like I said, I'm not a talker. I have a gift of,
Sure.
and a lot of people do, where I can sleep on an airplane, whether it's
Oh yeah,
7 a.m.,
100%.
9 p.m., 3 in the afternoon. Like, I have no problem snoozing, which is weird because I'll try to go to sleep tonight at midnight and we'll not be able to sleep for an hour. Maybe I need to install a airline chair in my bedroom. I don't know. But is it rude of me? Is it my job to say hi to the person that I'm sitting next to? Now, no, most of the time I'm getting the airplane or the window seat because I know I'll probably sleep and I'm not going to be getting up. So it's just like, throw me in there, give me something to lean my head against.
Mhm.
Should I? Is it rude for me not to just like say hi or anything to that person that sits down before I put my headphones in and put my hat down and go into I'm not talking to anyone mode?
You're not obligated to. There's no, not at all. And I think it's a mutual thing. And I think it would be rude if the person next to you, like, hey, how you doing? Hopefully you have a good flight or something, chit chat. But you're gonna dictate it by putting your headphones on or picking up something to read or covering your eyes or something like that that you're going to sleep. If they can't read the room, that's a them problem.
That's the
Again,
crazy part about like flights is like you just have no idea who you're going to be sitting next to.
yeah.
It could be a crazy person. It could be John Gruden. Like you don't know who you're going to be sitting next to on these flights, and
Yeah.
it always, to tell you the truth, it always scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
uh,
I hate sitting by younger kids. That that freaks me out. I don't like that. I don't even want to be within 10 feet of them. I just, hey, sit by your
well,
parents, whatever.
the way that I feel about that is, so I do Southwest a lot because out of Tampa, it seems like they have the most direct flights. And I know if I'm going to have to not take a direct flight, the chances of something uh, delay or cancellation are doubled, right? So Southwest does like business class first or something, right? Special, like, wheelchair folks, I think, and then they have boarding row, like group A, B, and then after A, though, is when all the families go on.
Mhm.
I really think that there should be a family section of the airplane because what happened a lot to me is I'd get in that like B zone at the beginning or that late A zone. And guess what? That's like when all the kids are getting on. So I'm naturally probably going to be next to, unless I just keep going back in the back of the plane, next to some kids. I don't mind the kids. I know,
I
like, well, we've had kids. So, like, listen, there's a baby. There's a lot of videos of people freaking out over babies crying.
Oh, I'm putting my
Sometimes,
headphones on. That doesn't bother me.
like, exactly. You got to be able to, like, there's noise canceling headphones. And if you're flying a lot, you should have some.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes I don't think, like, there's sometimes parents can't do anything, right? Like, there's nothing you can do. And as
And
long as
see,
they're
I'm
flying,
I'm sympathetic to that. I'm totally 100% sympathetic for that.
well, as long as they're trying
Yeah.
to feed that baby, whatever, there's usually two or three
And it
things
could be
wrong.
the altitude and the ears and their ears are hurting or something like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with little kids.
Same thing with like even not babies, but like just little kids, right? That can move around. Like just control your kid. Just,
Yeah.
be a parent. You're still we're on an airplane. You're still the parent here. Like just as long as there's effort. But I've been on planes where it's like this kid's walking around the flight the whole time.
So I while we're on this subject of seating, I have to ask this question because it has come up. I've seen it on social media. I've seen it in articles. I've seen it on the news. There was a woman who purchased her window seat, and when she was getting on the plane, there was a parent that put their child in her seat that she paid for and sat next to her where she was assigned to sit and wanted her to go to the back of the plane and sit where she should have where that other seat was. So basically what we have here is a woman that paid extra money, and that that's the scam right now with airlines is they're going to charge you if you want to get a better seat. So you pay 50, 150, $75,
It's
whatever.
it's about $100 an extra inch of leg room.
So this is my thing. And I'm going to tell you how I would handle it, but just think about this, because I want to hear your thoughts on it. To me, if that ever happened to me, I swear to God, and I'm saying it right now, it's already on video. Anybody can follow up and check this out. If somebody is sitting in my seat and they didn't have the forethought to know that they're going to travel and they waited till the last minute and I've already paid money for this seat, you're going to pay me. Before we go any further, and the airline attendant or whoever, they can arbitrate this, but I'm telling you right now, I want $200. If I got a window seat, I paid extra money for it, and I've got to go to the back of the plane, whereas I could get off sooner, you're going to give me minimum $200 if you're taking my seat. You can have it. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get compensated for giving up my seat. I'm not just
You
going to give
should.
it up to you out of principle
Yeah.
because you were ill prepared on a trip. For me, I'm a planner. When it comes to traveling, I'm coming to Gasparilla in end of January, beginning of February.
You already checked in.
Bro, I've got my Airbnb. I've already got my plane tickets. I've got everything lined up. I've got my seat, and I know they're doing this BS with the seats or whatever. And
But Southwest is
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
not do the
And you
whole
know what?
like.
I've got a love-hate relationship with Southwest right now, but that's for another time. But right now, I'm set. I've already planned this out. I know what I'm going to do. And I can promise you, if I get on a plane and I walk back and there's some lady sitting in my seat, her child sitting next to her, and they're like, "Oh, well, can you take my seat back there? Pay me. All you got to do, give me $200 cash, and I'll walk back there and take your seat. No problem."
I
And
agree with you because why couldn't that person have paid the extra like you did to sit
yeah,
next
yeah,
to your kid? I
yeah.
I do that. I
You're
have
condoning irresponsibility because in a way it's irresponsible. If you know you've got a kid, you know that kid is gonna want to sit by a window or whatever. You know your kid. It's not my responsibility that you waited till the last minute or you decided that it wasn't valuable enough for you to book this seat. It's not my problem at
I
all.
agree. I agree. It's like, well, some nice soul, not named Gene, will will certainly move, but no,
So
they should have to pay you for that. Like,
yeah. So
you know,
the lady in Brazil, this was in Brazil. They were recording this lady and they were like trying to shame her because she wouldn't give up her seat. She paid for the freaking seat. And why would you reward irresponsibility? That's my whole question. And you have people, and again, I don't get into politics. I don't like politics because it's like in America, politics is just bad. But you have people that are of a more liberal mind. And again, not all. just in this case, everybody that was against the woman in the seat, that was just their mindset. They're like, "Oh, you should have just gave her the seat because she's got a kid next to her." Well, it turns out that that kid could have took the parent's seat behind them in the window, and they could have gone back and sat wherever they needed to sit. So again, you're ill prepared, and you cannot condone somebody that's being irresponsible. That's kind of how I feel about it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to lighten the mood up here because you hate
Yeah.
children. Going back to the talking to people that don't want to be talked to on the airplane.
Yeah.
I so this is a pretty funny story. So this is a work trip, but what happened was some of the guys on the work trip, and I guess a lot of other people, but the guys all stayed together. We pitched in to get a suite at the Cosmo, like one of the corner suites. Um,
Nice.
but there was a whole, like, I slept on a couch, but
Get like a bucket
um,
of champagne.
so it's last night, and we're there for work, and it's Vegas, sure, so we had a lot of fun, but this last night, right, and we're gonna go hard, and we're all the guys, we're all staying in a suite. I think most of the girls kind of stayed or got rooms, and that we worked with, so they were hanging out too, but the guys, we went for it. This was one of those nights where, like the hangover, like it's like, what happened last night? And no joke, I wake up on a sectional, like the L shape, where my head's here and another dude's head is on, like, he's laying the other way, where our heads were very close together, which was kind of uncomfortable, with a sandwich in my hand. But I wake up to one of the responsible folks saying, "We need to be at the airport in 20 minutes." So it just turns into the mad scramble, much like at the beginning of Home Alone, the original, when they overslept, and just chaos to get to, and they leave the kid. But so we go, of course, none of us checked in for the flight. we are boarding group F. It's Southwest again. We are boarding room F. We are the last ones on the plane. So it's like 8 guys, hungover, didn't get to take a shower. I remember waiting in the terminal, and me and another guy were sitting in wheelchairs because there was nowhere to sit. We saw 2 wheelchairs. We're taking the wheelchairs. Like, we were dead.
Uh,
Like, listen, there's being hungover sucks. Being hungover on a flight
oh,
is
that's the
awful.
worst.
So of
Hey.
course, last one's on, right? And
Mm,
basically, it's like Vegas to Tampa is a full flight every time,
right.
and we're like, all right, take that next middle seat, because that's about it. Like, you ain't getting anything better than that. So I get my middle seat. One of my buddies gets the middle seat right behind me. I sit down next to the sweetest, kindest old lady who was a talker. and she wanted to hear about why I was there. She wanted to tell me about why she was there, and about her grandchildren and her kids and all this. And I'm trying to give those hints, and I've got the headphones in. So eventually she shuts up. Meanwhile, right behind me, my buddy, also in the middle row, I'm hearing he's striking up a conversation, and I can just tell by the voice, oh, this is a younger woman. This is not grandma who I'm sitting next to. and and event, like, maybe an hour goes by, and I smell like the scent of vanilla coming from behind me. So I turn around, and this motherfucker is getting a hand massage from this blonde woman in the plane, on the plane, that he doesn't know her. He
Does
just
this
got
count as the
lucky.
Mount High Club?
No. I think that's as far as it went, was the hand lotion
No,
massage.
no, no. I'm just asking because back in the '90s, it was not to. Well, there's a limitations, right? I can kind of say whatever, right?
Well, be careful what you say. I don't.
Well, this was before 9/11, so I think I'm safe.
This is before Me Too.
So I actually
Oh
mile
boy.
highed it on a flight to Colorado. We went to Denver.
Oh, Mile High on the Mile High City.
Yeah. So
But
I am a member of the Mile High Club, and
how do you wait? I don't want to know how. I know how that happens, but where? Because I never go to the bathroom in the plane. Like I always try to go before I get on, so I don't have to get up. Remember, I'm sleeping most of the time.
well,
And
this is how it worked. We were on the back of the plane, and the attendants were handing out drinks and snacks going towards the front of the plane. So I went to the bathroom, and she followed me into the bathroom because I kept it unlocked. And the rest is kind of.
but the bathroom's so small.
But I was like 150, 160 pounds back then. It was like a totally different world back then.
It's funny because I went to the bathroom last week on the plane. Like I said, I normally don't, and I took a mental note of that. I'm like, how do people have sex in an airplane bathroom?
There's no way. I mean, with all the monitoring and all the other stuff that's going on, you couldn't. You possibly could. I would say the only way that would work is on an overnight flight.
Oh
Overnight
yeah,
flight.
that London overnight.
Overnight flight. If you're in first class, I could see it. But outside of that, no.
Yeah, or it's got to be like a private plane or something, you know.
Well,
Um,
I don't know. Have you ever seen the Fly Emirate plane, the Emirate planes,
the
United
beds.
Emirates? Oh my
Yeah,
God, man! You
I,
might as well be in a hotel.
I
They've
don't
got
have
showers
10
and
grand.
everything,
I don't have 10 grand to drop on a flight though.
bro. If
Only
I
problem with
if
that.
I did, and this is on my bucket list. I want to fly to like China or Thailand or Philippines in
You're
a
serious about this?
yeah. I do want to do this at least once. It's on my bucket list
I'll go.
to
Have you
go
been to
first class.
Tokyo? Have you been to Tokyo?
Oh, you know what? I would go to Tokyo.
I'll go to Tokyo with
I'd
you.
go to Tokyo first class on Emirates.
Yeah, you have. That flight. That you've been on longer flights than I have.
Yeah.
Longest I've been is across the Atlantic, which really isn't that bad because it's usually overnight.
And
But if I'm
there
taking a
was
long flight, then I need some extra space.
and again, I'm not dead, so I can talk about beautiful women, but I can tell you right now, the Emirates, the airline attendants that they have, wow. And I don't know if that I think that's kind of sexist because they all look like models.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're
it's
talking
just
about.
crazy to me.
Well, okay, so that brings me to my next air etiquette topic, and this one I'm on the fence on. Lately, I have been more into like dressing up a little bit more, and you've seen me. Like I'm t-shirt, jeans, t-shirt, shorts, hat. I'm really a low key, not a fancy dresser guy. But some of these trips, like I got to bring a suit, so the best thing to do if you're wearing a suit like is to wear that jacket on the plane so it doesn't get all screwed up in your luggage. So like I've been doing that and I do feel a lot better about getting on this plane knowing like, hey, most of you people are in your pajamas. I have a fancy at least, jacket on. But I also think that it's way better to be more comfortable. For example, on the way back, shorts, lightning shirt, hat,
Mm,
comfortable. Where
right.
do you stand on? Do you think we should try to go back to the old days where like people got dressed up for flights?
Um, I think with tell me if I'm that's not too loud, is it?
You got louder for sure.
Sorry about that. For me, it's there's so much suspicion right now. Hold on one second. How am I still loud?
No, you're good.
Okay. There's so much suspicions with airlines. I do not want to be part of the problem. So I dress to get through TSA. That's the reason for my dress. I wear slides, I wear sweatpants, and I wear a t-shirt. Unless I'm going to a rodeo or something like that where I have to have my cowboy hat. I
Boots.
will. Boots. I will not wear boots through a. I will not wear boots through TSA. Never. You
Your
never do that.
global entry.
It doesn't
Like,
matter. They will shut you down. And so to me, I always just wear slides. So I've got like these Jordans, what they call mules, where you just slide your feet into them, like slippers almost. I'm not gonna wear anything that's gonna have me getting pulled to the side and searched. So whatever I can do to simplify, um, I'll wear a pair of sweats. I'll wear a shirt where it's not everything is clean, and I do wear cologne. So that's it. I mean,
so
I'm not gonna.
you're comfort guy.
Yeah, I'm more
That's fine.
comfort.
I'm
But
with
my
you.
thing is, I just don't want to get stopped by TSA. I don't want them pulling me to the side, and then you got to go through my luggage. Then you got to get 90 questions, and it's crazy. I
Have
mean,
you
have
ever
you?
got like the real they do random searches, right?
Yeah,
So
I got a random search coming from Scotland back to from Scotland. We were coming back to the U.S. So we were at Glasgow Airport, and we there was a guy that was right in front of us, and he reeked of weed. He just like reeked of it. And again, for me, I'm not a weed guy. I'm more of a gummy guy. If I can say that. But this guy was just he just reeked of it, and they let him go through. But I came through right after him, and they're like, "Okay, let me see your passport. Where are you going? We're gonna pull your luggage off to the side and look through it, if that's okay." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, sure." So look through, everything looked good, and they were happy. I'm happy. All God's children are happy, and we went through. But no, it's one of those things. After I experienced that, and in the climate that we live in today, where citizens are getting like stopped, I mean, I know I'm not. No, I don't want to do anything to draw attention to myself. I'm not going to address in any way that's going to do that. So whatever I can do that will just get me through. I want to be comfortable and just get on my way.
so you're comfort, but it's more about not getting TSA on your ass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So I've had my bag searched a couple times, and I travel occasionally with THC. so,
Wow.
so
See, I can't. I'm scared of the federal government, man. I ain't gonna play around like
well,
that.
here's the thing. I'm sure they can bust you. I know for a fact that they're not trying to. Do you know how I know that?
Brittany Griner.
Well, that was Russia, right?
No, same
Dude,
thing.
I'm telling you, I've had my shit searched and they've touched it, looked at it, and put it back.
Were you scared?
Yes. Very much so. 100%. And the time I'm thinking about was probably the biggest
Bro,
hole.
why do you put yourself in that position though?
I don't really do it as much anymore because I don't smoke that much anymore. But I forget where this was. I think it was Nashville actually, which is the next place I'm flying. But I had like some deodorant, and I'm kind of weird. I switch my deodorant like 2 times a year.
Really?
I for some reason I feel like my deodorant like has a shelf life where eventually it stops working. So like I literally have tried every uh, deodorant because I just switch.
Mm.
So this one that I had was like the green Mitchum or something like that.
Uh,
And basically their security, it was flagging my deodorant, and they couldn't figure out why. And they're doing the search. And by the way, where my toiletries are is where I stuff my my illegal stuff. So that is one of the times where they're like, look at it, put it back. Like they're looking for weapons and stuff, right? But
oh, you weren't scared?
no, I was sweating. I was sweating for sure.
Good.
But I kept a positive attitude about the whole thing. I mean, here, listen,
Man,
if the same thing I told him with the deodorant, I was like, I'm going home. If the deodorant's a problem, throw it out. I don't need it on the plane. So it took an hour for me to get out of that because not what I was bringing, but because of the deodorant that somehow was getting flagged. So guess what? I don't use that deodorant ever anymore. And then I also had, so this is, I don't even know if I should admit this one on the internets, but I will. So, well, it's not horrible, but it's kind of scary to think about. So, I'm in Florida, right? So one of the hurricanes, I went to my parents' house, which I normally do because I'm helping them out. They got a generator and stuff, so it's better for me anyway. I bring the kids, and I pack like a if shit goes sideways bag, right?
Mhm.
So one of the things that I put in that bag this year was a big Bowie knife. I'm preparing for I don't know what. Like the floods started coming, the seas rising. I'm gonna be living on a raft for the next month. Like who knows? It could happen, right? So I go maybe a month later, I go on a trip again to Fort Lauderdale. And this was one of the only times I've done this, a 1 day fly there, fly back same day. Because it's Fort Lauderdale, I'll drive usually. So I'm going for one meeting. So I'm like, all right, get me in, get me out. I grabbed that bag and didn't check the contents of it until I land and I'm at the meeting with my backpack and I'm actually it was after my meeting as I'm like waiting to go back to the airport and I went through security with a knife this big. Dude,
Bro, you could go to jail for that.
by accident. But guess what? They didn't even see it. So I'm like I got so scared just sitting on a bench like realizing I had it,
I
I
would have
threw it
cried
away.
real tears, man. That's
I
messed up.
Well, and I'm about to fly back. I'm about to go back to the airport. I threw the knife away. I was like, I'm not going to try it again. But that's listen, security ain't catching everything. That was an accident. I did not mean to bring that knife on the plane. And I had no idea I even had it. But that's scary to think about like how that even happened. Like how did that happen? Um yeah, so what's the day that you decided that you were going to get TSA pre-check or you got global
uh,
entry, which is the same thing but worldwide?
because I hate going through security. I read the pros and the cons, and some douchebag from Clear was trying to get me to to do it there to do theirs, and I'm
It's
like,
on every airport. They don't have it in Tampa, so I'm not doing
that's
it.
that's the whole thing. They don't have enough airports, number one, and when they are at an airport, those guys are horrible. They're douchebags, and
Are
that's
they?
they're straight up douche. They're like, and again, no offense to anybody, but they remind me of who you would see driving a Tesla on an interstate. That's the
They
kind
used
of,
to have a Prius. They
yeah, they
upgraded
used to have a, exactly.
to.
So
Do these people like the smell of their own farts?
more than likely, I'm thinking I'm thinking that's the case. So basically, I was like, you know what? I like the idea of, and I think we were coming back from Dallas. Was it Dallas? No, we are coming back from Kansas City. We're coming back from Kansas City, and the line was ridiculous. The line was ridiculous. So we're coming back from Kansas City. We get through the line, and I'm like, this is crazy. So I saw this thing, and they're like, global entry. I'm like, well, we travel abroad enough to where I would use it. It's only $125 for 5 years. Of course, I'm going to do it. So I get it, and the next year we go to Lisbon, Portugal. And when I get back, we get back through. Going there was a pain in the ass because we ended up having to go to Edmonton. By the way, Edmonton's their border security can kiss my ass too, and I can't stand them fuckers. But
Shouldn't have
getting
wore that
back,
suit.
getting back from Portugal, from Lisbon to to Phoenix. As soon as we got off, we didn't have to go through customs. Put my passport booklet up, showed my face, and I was done. I'm like, you know what? I'm for this. So after that, we got it. And when we would travel, when I would have to travel for work with people that didn't have global entry, they're sitting there waiting around in line there's like a 45 minute line getting through security. And they're looking at me and I'm like whipping through the line. I get over to the bar. I've had a couple of shots and I've got my drink waiting on everybody else to get through. And they're like, so how did you get through the line so fast? Like, I got global entry, bro. And so finally you got a lot of people that travel a lot that ended up getting it. But yeah, it's benefited me.
Oh, if you travel, I would say twice a year
It
on
pays
an
for itself.
airplane. I mean, you don't need global entry. I don't fly enough outside of the country to get global entry, but TSA pre-check is like $80 for 4 or 5 years.
Dude, 125. Who knows if you're gonna go to like Mexico or Canada or
I
who
know.
knows?
Actually, I am flying out of the country next month.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
wish I had
If
it.
you got if you
Uh,
got global entry, man, you're set. And if you're
but
gonna pay that little, just pay the little bit extra. I spend the extra money, I could spend it on beer.
here's when I decided, and this was several years ago now. So I was starting to travel more for work and sitting in these lines. And I swear it was like Groundhog's Day at the airport, and it was everyone's first day going on an airplane and going through security. Every time I was going through security, I'm like it was like people didn't understand you had to take your shoes off, which again, you don't have to do anymore, even in the regular line, which just happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like people not realizing you have to take your laptop out, and I'm sitting there like you prepared. I know laptops coming out, shoes come, like I'm ready to go. You are just in my way. And then after like 5 trips in a row where I was just like just getting pissed off at people in security lines, because again, this is your first time flying? Really? This is your first time
Yeah.
flying? I got it, and it was the best travel move I've made.
Oh, heck
Was
yeah.
to get
I
pre-check
love it. I
because
love
it's
it.
so much easier.
Yeah.
And really in Tampa, the Tampa regular security lines, because how the airport's set up, are not that bad.
Yeah.
Like there's been
But
times where more people have pre-check than don't in some
yeah, and
cases.
that gets to be a problem. That gets to be problematic too, because lately there are a lot more people. Like we were coming from Austin, there were a lot more people that had pre-check than that had just your regular security. And I'm like, I should have gone through regular security. Regular have to deal with this.
Yeah, it's weird. Or it's like the small airport that I flew out of last week. It all filters to one line. They give
Yeah,
you a little card that's like, oh, you don't have to take your shit out or your shoes
yeah.
off, or, you know. But yeah, if that is probably the number one. I think everyone that travels on an airplane at
I
some
think
consistency has pre-check.
with with the way tech is going right now, modern tech, you got so many people that there's so many they're going to put your passport on your phone where you don't even have to carry your passport book with you. You just have your phone,
Can't lose it. Well, you could lose your phone.
right? But your phone is like gold. I mean, people are not. I mean, I carry like in the airport, I carry a Faraday bag. And I just drop my phone in a Faraday bag,
I don't
and
even know what that is, you fancy motherfucker.
basically a
Oh, like
Faraday
a fan
bag.
bag?
And you should look it up real quick while while we're talking about it.
Hold
Uh,
on, I want to hit the rest of my points here.
oh, but go ahead, go ahead.
I have some notes here. We talked about fashion and people dressing like slobs, which we're both fine with. We
Oh,
do it.
well, did you
For
hear
fun.
about the woman that wore the booty shorts um, on the Southwest, and they made her change?
I don't agree with that. I'm fine with the booty shorts. Listen,
Bro,
this I do mind though.
to each his
If
own.
if you're sitting around me and you smell, come
Yeah,
on, man.
there's
Come
no.
on. I've had that happen like more times than I would like to admit, where it's like how do you smell so bad?
There was a guy that had gas, and he was like bombing me. He was like,
No, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, he
You
was
can't be doing
gassing me up, man.
that.
And
What else? Standing in the middle of the terminal. So the one thing I do like about Southwest is they kind of herd people, which I
mhm.
guess is going to change. The rest of these airlines, it's like a free for all, like boarding group 5, everyone run. My problem is
Well, let
some of
me
these
say no,
airports.
no, because American Airlines, they have, what do they call them people? Gate lice, where
Yes.
people are like, I'm in I'm in zone 6, but I'm boarding with zone 3. Now you got to do the walk of shame. What they've done in
Do they even, I always wondered, do they even check that though?
American Airlines, starting like this summer, if you are like, let's say for instance, I'm zone 6, you're zone 3, and they call zone 3. I run up there, get in front of you, and I put my phone up there. It's going to make this loud ass obnoxious beep that you're not, this is not your zone.
I
And then it's going to kick you to the back. I mean, it's going to actually kick you to the back where
You're in
you
zone
can't,
Z.
yeah. So you have to, if you do that and you try to get on, it's going to be where basically you have to get to the all the way to the back because you tried to cut the line.
So I swear there might have been 1 or 2 times, and one was recently, where I misheard, and I think I boarded like the group before me, and this last one was, it was a weird part of the air. Like I was taking a regional jet, so I was taking a smaller plane. So it was a different, like smaller gate and stuff. But when I scanned it, it scanned and it was red instead of what it's normally green. So I think I accidentally went early, but they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that bothers me. Not necessarily like what bothers me is when people are congregating at the gate and they're blocking everyone else from getting to their gates. And it's like these people pay no attention at all that you are in the middle of a busy walkway. Move to the freaking side. Like I was
Now,
watching some people just standing there.
how do you personally handle something like that?
I don't say anything to anyone.
I'm
But
s-
I
I'm
stared
saying
at, I gave the stare down to these 2 people that were basically, it's like, dude, you are just camped out in the middle of the
I'm
walkway.
I am not passive aggressive. I will say excuse me as loud as I can and as assertive as I can, and it's like parting the Red Sea. They'll move, and that's
But how are people so oblivious to things?
because people are entitled. It kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. There are just people that the people that get up as soon as the plane lands so they can try to get off the plane early. This is the same mentality. I saw this. I saw this with, and again, COVID opened my eyes to a lot of things that scare me. If we have any kind of natural disaster, the people that you're talking about are going to be the people that would sell you out, or they would shoot you to get in front of them, or they're just not like good people. And again, I don't personally know them, but I can tell you right now, if you don't have enough common sense to move out of the way or make sure that people have a path to get to where they need to, you're selfish and you only care about yourself and you're only out for yourself. So it's kind of
So
what I
what
get from
you're
that.
saying is I am too thoughtful and care about others a little too much.
100%. I mean, yeah, but there has to be a balance. You can't just like, oh, well, you got to get the fuck out of my way. No, you got to, yeah, hey, excuse me. Excuse me. I need to get over, I need to get
Yeah.
in line or something to that effect.
It's just super annoying. Like we kind of begun this conversation with, it's tough to complain. Like traveling is like a perk for a lot of jobs, but like it more than anything, it's the freaking people.
Yeah.
It's people
But
are
dude,
so
I just,
obnoxious.
and since I've, and again, I want to talk about this, but since I've gotten my Steam Deck, all I want to do is get in my seat and play my game. And I know that that's going to carry me on to wherever I'm going. But there are a lot of people that, hey, I got to get in line first. I got to do this first. I got to be here. And okay, cool. Be my guest. I'm still gonna. My seat is assigned. I'm gonna get to where I need to get to, and that's just how it is. So I don't stress about it too much. There's some things that I try not to overthink, and one of the main things is like weighing. Do you want to get a lifetime ban on a plane for standing up for something that you feel like you need to, or you want to just let them assholes go where they need to go and let karma deal with them later?
Yeah. All right. That's we opened up a can of worms with that one. We didn't even really get into other travel etiquette. We just pretty much all airline, which was
Yeah,
fine. That's how we travel in the US.
I think
So
we could circle back to this at another time, though. To be
I do
honest,
want to
there,
talk
there's
about
still there's still so much.
I want to talk about ride share etiquette too, but we'll
Oh yeah,
save it.
let's get on that because
No, let's save it because you got your topic too, and I want to break into this topic. So, what is your topic, Gene?
we were talking about like being able to put your passport on your phone. Just you have your plane ticket on your phone, and the tech right now. Who would have thought even 20 years ago that we would be where we are? But my topic is more or less retro tech, and I'm talking tech from, let's go back to the 80s. Let's put it at 1980 and forward. And again, I'm showing my age because I've experienced a lot of tech that a lot of people probably don't even know existed. So for me, I'm going to ask you, for you, when you think of retro tech, what is something that comes to mind that you grew up with that people would laugh at you right now, knowing that this is what you use?
I mean, I don't know. The earliest technology that I remember even using was like the OG Nintendo.
So would a voicemail machine, would that have been
No, I
in
guess we had a
your,
voicemail machine.
what about a VCR? Or were you a DVD? Were
So
you a
we
DVD?
definitely had some VCR action in my childhood.
Okay. So like for me, I could go all the way back to the Radio Shack, to the TRS-80. Um, that computer, making games on that computer was really fun, and just some of the scripts, that's how I learned DOS. And people are like, "What is DOS?" DOS is like, it's like ancient. It's like, it's what the ancient Jedi's used, back when they were fighting the Sith and that kind of thing. No, but DOS was kind of where it started. You could do some really cool stuff with DOS. Um, I mean, you had what they called floppy disks. Some floppy disks were like
Oh, I remember the big ones. Yeah,
big floppy disk. You put those in, and
those were truly floppy too.
yeah, and you were adding a couple of megs to those, and that was cutting edge. That was just like cutting edge. So it's just like, wow, that this is the kind of stuff that we had.
What was the first thing that like wowed you though? The first piece of technology that you got at home that you were like, "Well, the future is now."
The Atari 2600.
I think I did play. I think we did have Atari, but I was like I said, the Nintendo was the first thing I really remembered, and I was young for this stuff because I was born in '82. But do remember playing some stuff on the Atari and that joystick, and
Yeah, 'cause it's a square joystick,
yeah,
a little round circle, and then just a joystick. But playing like tank pong, that was fun. Where you just like, the little blip comes over here, you gotta, and I was just like enamored with that, and we spent hours playing, that. But our mindsets were different because, and I say this, and again, I don't put one generation over another because I'm sure there are redeeming qualities in every generation, except for the boomers, such as you are. You know who you are. But yeah, I'm throwing that kind of smoke right now. But it was a good time because you saw the evolution of video games. you saw the evolution of computers, and it just kind of went from there. I remember being at prom, and my best friend had a brick phone, a cellular phone, the brick phone, and I'm sitting here like, man, let me try that. So we ran up, at prom, we actually ran up the bill on his phone because everybody wanted to try his brick phone to just call their mom and say, "Hey, I want a phone. I want a phone at prom." You ever because everybody that you knew was at prom. So just something, just little things like that, and to see where we are. There's been so much good, but there's also so much bad. But for starters, you
Well,
had,
hold on. This is a good question. Is it more good than bad still?
and not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, whenever government gets involved in something good, it ruins it, and that's goes without question. I mean, just
I'm under the impression that if we didn't have all this technology, especially social media, um, I think everyone's lives would be better. I
100%,
really do.
100%.
Like when I was a kid, everybody in the neighborhood kind of knew each other.
Mhm.
And that's not like, I guess my kids like kind of know some of the neighbors, but it's because us parents know each other more than anything
Right,
else.
right.
Like I feel like there's more communities, and now the internet's made the world such a smaller place. It's like, oh, guess what? After this, I'm gonna go talk shit to somebody in Tokyo
Yeah, what's
because
cool? I mean, like going back to Atari, I would get out there and we would play tank pong or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? There's a football game going on up at the school. I'll come back to that. That's always going to be here. I'm going to go up here and play this
that
game.
was your best option.
Yeah,
My son's in high school, and he's not a huge football fan, but like it's a social event with other kids. Like he's gonna know other people there. Maybe been to one football game. Maybe he's been to one. Because he'd just rather sit around and play Xbox with a lot of those other kids that did not go to the football game. So it is social. It is a social
but
thing, but
it's
still, like when we were
100%.
kids, you had to be in the same room. You had to have a cord connected to that
I mean, for
machine.
for us,
It
it
was
was
different.
like, oh, nobody else is in here playing the game. I got to get out here. Gotta get out here to the field, or I'm missing something. And
Yeah, I
so,
think it was better
and
back then.
I think COVID did a lot more damage, did a lot more harm than it did good because you normalized being in the house, you normalized being away from people, you normalized, you know, doing your own thing and not getting out and exercising. Not to mention, which you have a lot of psychopaths out there that is really scary, and so a lot has changed from the time that I was growing up to kind of where we are now.
See, I might disagree with you about COVID because during the thick of COVID, uh, that is when I was seeing more people outside or going to parks and doing things outside. For example, because sometimes I'll call you to check in when I walk my dog, and I try to walk my dog every night. I can't always, or as it gets dark. And when I'm doing it this year, I'm the only one. I usually don't see
Right?
anybody else outside. But during COVID, everybody's walking their dog. I'm like, oh dang, I didn't even know that we had that many dogs in this neighborhood. Or people just outside walking. So I did think it kind of did get some people at least outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess. I mean, to me, I feel like more people were happy to be indoors, and that's kind of how it was for me.
Yeah, I think the technology overall is going to be a negative, and I think even with AI, it's going to be
Oh,
even more of a negative because it's just going to make people dumber because AI can do the work for you. You don't have to research things. You don't have to get yourself smarter, and it's going to cost a lot of people their jobs.
oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like right now, I do everything I can not to use AI. I mean, it's encouraged. At my job, it's encouraged. For me, I want to be able to think something through. I I want to be able to like, okay, I need to do this, and this. And if there's a problem with a formula, I may jump on it. I may use AI to solve a problem, but outside of that, I won't use it. I'll just, okay, let me think this through. Let me get this going, and that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, we're getting to future tech though, so we got to go back. We got
Yeah,
to dial it back.
let's
Got to
let's
dial
dial
it
it
back.
back. Okay, so
Uh,
let's go back to go ahead.
First, so you said the first computer you had, right?
Yeah, Commodore. What was it? No, it was a TRS-80. Was the first computer I
We
ever
had a. I
radio
remember
shack.
it was my dad's, specifically my dad's, some
Oh yeah,
compact
compact.
computer.
Yeah, COMPAQ. Yeah, compact.
And I'm in
So wow, that's several
elementary.
grand. That's several grand right there.
It was a good computer. I was
Heck
trying to play
yeah.
some games on it. I was playing these cool games that today look like pieces of shit. No, I played a cool game. I remember the game called The Seventh Guest.
Yes.
Oh, that game was cool, and you had like 8 CDs for that game to play it. But yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
had.
like the Palm Pilot. Remember the Palm Pilot?
Yeah, I remember that. That was like really the iPhone before the iPhone.
That was.
They screwed the pooch on that one. They should
Yeah,
have been the
they had
iPhone.
that and Blackberries. I guess is Blackberry considered old tech?
BlackBerry. Yeah, well, it's retro
Oh,
at this
I
point.
guess
Yeah.
like for me, retro would be like a VCR, Beta or VHS, either one. Laser disc players, maybe. Um, a Discman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your boy,
Had to hold that thing up right.
your boy got the Discman. Um, I don't know, cassette tapes. I would consider cassette tapes as a that was considered retro tech. Your Walkmans. Walkmans were before Discmans, where you had cassette tapes instead of CDs. But what kept cassette players around was you could record some music, or
Yeah.
with VHS, you could get on Cinemax and record whatever movie you wanted to, and you're good.
Yeah. There was no copyright issues back then because they
Yeah,
couldn't get you.
that's right. That's right.
Dude,
And
I
those
do
little,
miss, and I bring it up probably a few times a year with my kids. I just miss that. I remember Friday after school, whether it was after, my friends turned 16 and they got their license. I hung out with the older crew. Or it was me begging my parents in middle school, hey, it's Friday. We got to get to Blockbuster before before like whatever. I'm trying to think of like a '90s movie. Before True Lies is rented. We used to rent like the
bro.
craziest
I
movies.
I worked when I bounced at a strip club, and then to kind of supplement my income, I was a shift manager at Blockbuster. So I
So
was
do
like,
you have that same like feel, that same love that I do for it? Have knowing like how the sausage is made.
exactly, bro,
You're
exactly.
like, I hate rewinding shit.
So me and a friend of mine, he lives in Austin. I introduced him to his wife, and they're still together. Jesus, it's been they got married in 94, 95. They got married, and they've been together since, and they're like the perfect couple.
That's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, but she's really sweet. I mean, she's like the not to go back to the last show, but she's like that Hallmark wife where she's
Oh
like
Jesus.
she's quirky and she's got a great sense of humor, and she's ride or die with her man, and that she's the Hallmark wife. That's kind of how I would call her, the Hallmark wife. But she is such a sweetheart, and we all worked at Blockbuster together, and I was their manager, which is so crazy because I was so freaking immature back then. I mean, I there was just it was wild. My freshman sophomore year in college, it's crazy. And not to mention, I'm married, and there's which that's for another show too.
Yeah.
But anyway, kind of
Save that copy of Titanic for me.
exactly. So the girls that would come in, Titanic was the movie. Hey, you got to check out this Titanic. It's real good.
That got 2 walls
Yeah.
of
And
coverage.
when a real good movie came out, you had to clear out like the whole like wall. I mean, it was like you had to have movies, then you had to have the cover, you had to have a movie behind it. They had to all be rewound. Because at our store we had to basically had to like refund people if the movie wasn't rewound. We had to give them like some kind of credit or half a credit. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was something like that. So,
That's
for me,
yes.
man, and then it was so funny because it was about that time we started getting video games in.
Yeah.
So we had a little section video games.
Yeah, the video games were always out. Like the good
Yes,
games because they
yeah.
didn't have the quantity of
And
the
then
new
it
movies.
was so weird because you got this cute soccer mom coming in, and she's like, "Well, I need to pay the late fees because my son's going to keep the game for another 2 weeks." I'm like,
Let's
"Okay,
just buy it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying." But that's kind of how it went. But man, I tell you what, it was like being a celebrity because you work at Blockbuster. I bounced at a strip club, and then occasionally I worked. I bartended at a bar. So I mean, I just was like always doing something, and everybody, people would know me. Lawrence is a college town, so people would know me, and it's kind of like being a celebrity. It's kind of like Gasparilla, but just for like a whole year, basically.
I mean, if you were the manager at Blockbuster, hell yeah. Back then, that was a prestigious
Yeah.
position.
And it was so crazy. I used to have dates back in the kids pit. They had a TV and a VCR back there, and I would like, hey, come on over. Let's go watch new movies coming out. And I have a whole bunch of people over there, and we'd have somebody go back in the break room and pop some popcorn. We just hang out whenever a new
See,
movie
when
came out.
when I was like middle school, we'd beg someone's mom or dad to bring us up there. We'd have a good idea of what movie, like, well, we want to go get Billy Madison, you see the that movie again. And
Late fees were a motherfucker
a,
too.
a, a lot of times they'd be out. So you didn't want to come home empty handed because you didn't have the Netflix and everything else. Like this was your night. Like you
Right.
had to come home with a movie. So we would just dip into like whatever they had. Like we
Bro,
would not go empty handed.
that's what the district manager used to come in and he'd be like, listen, we know these movies are going to be sold out. You need to come up with a movie that you can provide to somebody that they'll want to watch.
You know what that movie for us was, or my friend Darren and I?
What's that?
Puppet Master. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
The little puppets.
So
There's like 5 of them. But like we went on a whole kick. We randomly got Puppet Master and like we loved it. That was like our favorite thing. Got the little drill head. Got with like the knife arms. The one woman one that like like it would kiss the people. The
uh,
puppet would kiss the people, and then she would put a leech in their mouth. And then that was like, it was such a weird movie. Like that movie had Nazis in it and stuff. Like this was a complex movie.
yeah.
But it made so many. But like those were the gems that we found because sure enough, our good movies were
I
already out.
You know what? Now that I'm here and I can kind of look back, this is why I appreciate like Quentin Tarantino because I love the cheap grindhouse movies. I always loved him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So like when kind of fast forwarding to now, here we're back talking about movies again. But when Death Proof came out, Tarantino said that was his worst movie. But to me it was one of my favorite movies. Not because of the girl power or any other stuff, just it was bizarre. And I loved it. I thought it was a good movie. So then he did Once Upon a
Machine
Time.
Gun Leg, right? Is that
Oh, that was Planet Terror. That was Rodriguez. But
Oh,
Tarantino's movie was called Death Proof, where um, this guy was a stuntman. The guy was a stuntman, and he was going around like murdering people. Have you ever seen that?
Grindhouse. Yeah, I just don't remember it that much.
So I've
2007.
argued with people. It's like a cult classic now. Where when it came out at the time, everybody liked Planet Terror. I'm not a big zombie guy, so
Didn't they come out together or something?
they came out. Yeah, that's why it was called Grindhouse, because basically you
Okay.
had a double
Yeah.
feature. It was called a double feature. But
Yeah, it's been a minute, but I do remember these. I mean, it's been
so
almost 20 years since
yeah,
this movie came out.
so I've got this T-shirt, and I wish I would have. Now I kind of wish I would have worn. If we talk about movies, if we ever get to the topic of movies, I will break out my movie T-shirts. I've got like Gogo Yabari from Kill Bill, and I've got Jungle Julia from Death Proof, and I've got the what's the guy's name from Karate Kid where he said sweep the leg. I've got the sweep the leg guy. I've got just like different. I'm huge on pop culture. If you hadn't already guessed, I mean, even now I'm huge on pop culture. So just want to know.
Retro. I want some retro tech. So I demoed going back to retro tech and Blockbuster. I demoed in the Blockbuster. They'd sometimes have like games you can play. Nintendo came out with this thing. This must have been like 1996 or 97. That was a virtual reality Nintendo. And it didn't
Glove?
take off. No, no, no. This was a headset and it wasn't full color. It was just like red lasers. You don't remember this?
No, I don't.
I'll pull up a picture of it. But they had it. They didn't make a ton of games for it, but they had it at Blockbuster, and I tried it out. It was like a Nintendo VR system from the '90s, and again, it was just all red images. I can't even first search. Oh, Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy was what it was called.
Oh wow, I'm looking at it right now.
That was a cool moment just because I'd never put on like a headset to play a game before. But again, it was like
So,
so. Oh
have
god, I
you
gotta.
tried the new virtual? Not to fast forward again, but have you tried the new VR, the Oculus?
I have. It's better than Virtual Boy.
I actually want, I actually do want one. My coworker has one.
Look, here's what the graph. This is the game I played. Here's what the graphics look like. Oh, of course we gotta. Come on.
Oh, where you're fighting, where you're with Mario? You're chilling with Mario?
Well, this was tennis. That's the game I played. It was a tennis game, but it was only
And
these
you
like
actually
red
use
graphics.
you have like controllers where you do or is it just
No, you still you're just looking at it. You still look. You're still holding a controller.
wow.
This was a long time ago. Does this Museum of Failure 95, 96, the world's first 3D gaming console.
So
This was it right here.
95, 95, 96. I was graduating in 96. Um, I was totally like outside of Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis, I was not even this is one of those few years where I was tech free was I would say the end of 95 to 96.
Oh, you missed the whole Virtual Boy.
Yeah, for real.
I've said it a few times that I really wish, and this will never happen, that they would do 1 day a week, no electronics.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Everything's internet shut down. It's go outside. It's go to church, like whatever your thing is, get together with people, no electronics.
Yeah. I think I think where I'm going, where I'm kind of headed right now because of all the privacy concerns and stuff. Um, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna go off the grid. Like if we go to Sedona, I'm leaving all my tech at home. Um, I talked about if you do me a favor, Google Faraday bags. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I just want to like get off the grid. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want anybody to know where I'm at. I just want to go and have that sense of freedom. And it's something I've been thinking a lot more and more about it because I miss, you know, I miss being able to just like, hey, I'm gonna leave my phone at home. When I get back, I can check my I'll check my voicemail. Remember those days where you were gone all day and then you came home and you checked your voicemail?
Yeah. Well, when I go on vacation, I guess it kind of depends where I go to. But like the last vacation I kind of went on was to the mountains.
Mm,
Like that phone's gone. Like
yeah.
the phone's not in
Mhm.
sight, and it's amazing how much you realize. Oh, wait, I don't need that. And when
Yeah.
in 1998, or I don't know when I got my first cell phone. I think late 90s, probably real late 90s. But like things were fine without that that phone.
No,
But I mean, having it here next to me all the time, it's just I always feel like I
got
have to be
I've
on it.
got a camera. I've got a camera and I don't use it enough. I need to go back to using my camera. And that's the only thing I really need. I mean, if I've got my physical driver's license, I mean, that's the only thing I need. Like moving forward, when I travel, I've got a burner phone that I'll travel with now because I've just heard too many stories about US citizens, this is about tech. Before it used to be, you just take your phone and you pass it through the scanner to make sure it's not an explosive and just kind of deal with it. But I just want to be untracked. I just want to be out and go and that have that sense of freedom. To me, that's a sense of freedom. Not so much, you know, oh, let's I've got my cell phone, but um at the end of the day, I just want to I want to leave this here and go out and do what I do.
Yeah, I don't like that anyone can get a hold of me at any time that they want to. And I won't answer my phone if I'm busy.
Exactly. But you see, like this is a Faraday bag. And basically nothing will get out and nothing will get in. It's like you fell off the face of the earth.
But it's just so it's like waterproof?
No, so basically, if you put your phone in it, it cuts off any nothing can no signal, nothing gets through to your phone. It's like you fell off the face
Oh,
of the earth.
I gotcha. Okay. You have one of these?
Yeah.
And you use it for what?
So basically, if I'm going through the airport, right now there's a lot of scammers.
You got this one? You got the phone version or you got a bigger one?
I got the phone version. You got a lot of scammers that can tap your phone and get your information, right? So if you got a Faraday bag, they can't they can't get in and no signals getting out. And what's interesting is like when I went to Sedona, I just left my phone in the Faraday bag and you can't track it. You don't know, nothing. You're just off the grid.
I like that.
And to me, I think to experience freedom is to kind of be off the grid sometimes. Just to kind of reset your batteries and just kind of be away from technology.
Trust me, my kid's texting me right now. It's ridiculous. Although he wants to watch South Park, which is not a bad idea.
Hey, is South Park on right now, or is Skid ready to come on?
Apparently, there's a new episode. I don't know if you saw the last episode, but
Oh,
they just
hilarious!
started with.
Listen, and I don't understand why people are in their feelings about it. I mean, I think we live in a world where everything is treated like sports. My team is better than your team. Everything, whether it's your sports team, whether it's your politics, whether it's your state, whether it's your country, my team is better than your team. No, that's not the case. That's not real life. And to me, I'm just at a point where I'm just like over it all. Like if it comes to a point right now, and we're talking about tech, we're talking about current tech, where I have to put in my driver's license or my ID to get on social media, I'm done with social media. I'm willing to walk away from it all.
Well, don't come to the state of Florida because I think you have to do that to watch pornography.
That's Texas, isn't it?
No, that's Florida too.
Whoa, really? Oh, you can get a VPN to get around that. I'm just talking about where you have.
There's ways around it. There's ways around it.
Yeah, of
I don't.
course.
I wouldn't know. I don't indulge in that kind of thing.
Yeah, low vibrations. So I totally get you. But anyway,
Um,
this was a lot of fun. I I've got topics for the next show. I do want to do more with tech. I want to talk more modern tech. Um, I do want to continue on the whole um, airplane etiquette. I think we got on some rants. I know I did, and there's a lot of other stuff I'd like to say about it. But yeah, it is what it is.
well, then we'll have to do this again.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite all-time favorite video game before we go?
All
It could be
time favorite, or you
whatever.
want like a retro
Let's
game?
forget about platforms. It could be retro. It could be current. Favorite video game of all time.
I don't know. I don't know. If I'm going with something newer, I like the newer Grand Theft Auto. I know I guess they haven't come out with one in like 10 years, but there's a new one coming, I hear.
Mhm.
I really like the you just are dropped in a whole city, and it's not even a city now, it's almost like a state. That you can do whatever you want in. Or Red Dead Redemption, who's still Rockstar. So those are like the current ones that I like. Besides, like I play NHL and NCAA basically, is all of the only other games I play. Now back in the day, I was more of like I just liked playing games and trying different things. So, gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to like early
Oh,
PC games. I used to love like city builder game, like the Sim City 2000. For some reason, I like building myself a city, and that goes back to actually a computer game that I had, which was like a theme park builder. Um, so yeah, I don't really have a absolute favorite. If you said you have to pick a favorite, I'm gonna just tell
gun to
you
your head. Pick a favorite.
NHL, whatever year it is, because that's the only game I stupidly buy every year. It
Wow.
never changes. Yeah, I'm boring like that.
For me, it's gonna be Def Jam, the original Def Jam.
Was that like the one where they
All the
Mortal
rappers,
Kombat
you
with
could be a
rappers?
rapper, and you could fight each other. Yeah, it's that game.
Well, you know what game made me want and eventually get Sega Genesis?
Tecmo
NBA
Bowl,
Jam. No,
huh?
NBA Jam.
Oh
Because
my
they
god.
had NBA Jam in only in the arcades. We didn't even touch we didn't even we didn't even touch arcades. But that's a lot of those
Oh, you
games.
could be you could have the big head and you can dunk and dude, I'm here to tell you, man. We played that game. That in Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat was bigger in college because we played for shots. So it's one of the few games
I
that I can
see.
actually walk out sober because I was that good at it. It's like my son. When my son was here in Arizona, he used to bring his friends over, and I had my PS3, and then I had a PS4, and they would all come over and hang out. Everybody had the sticks, and they were playing Mortal Kombat, and I just got off work, and these are kids, they're like they're used to their parents. So I come in the door and I'm like, okay, who's winning? I said, who's the best out of all you guys? And my son is looking at me like, Dad, don't embarrass me.
Don't do it.
He's giving me that don't embarrass me look. And so his friend Yager says, yeah, I'm the best. And I said, well, hand him sticks. And I get on there and I busted everybody. They were so mad. They finally left after like an hour and a half. They all left where I was just beating them down on Mortal Kombat. And I said, I got to the point where I was like, I'll let you pick the character. You pick whoever you want me to play as, and I'll beat your character. And of course, no, I've been playing this since the game originally came out. So I'm like, yeah, I think I know a little bit about what I'm doing, but I used to destroy them. So
Now you knew all like the finishing moves and all that stuff too.
yes, yes.
Impressive. And wait, how did you know this? Did you have the what was that magazine that like they put all the
Oh, yeah, the
cheat
insider.
code?
No, actually, um, you just had to. It was like hours and hours of playing, and Mortal Kombat rarely varies from their original usage. So it's just a matter of up, up, down, down, and then you'd play enough, and then you'd figure out what the or somebody you knew somebody that was a gamer as well, and they're like, okay, up, up, down, down, left is what you would do here, and they you just kind of played around with it, and you just got good at it. That's and I always played on the hardest level. That's like I don't know why, but just like since the beginning, I always played at the hardest level. And so when I had to play somebody, a human being, I was putting the beats on them.
I was just the one that just got beat because I was the casual player and everyone was playing it and I didn't know.
Dude,
I I swept the leg. That was my move.
we were playing for shots, and I'm not like going out and getting. I'm not getting drunk in my own house, but somebody's going out and they're getting tore up. So
Well, I think that might be a whole nother episode because if I did a little like research, I would probably bring back a lot of the games that I played throughout the years, whether it was when I was a kid playing Nintendo
yeah,
or I was
Techno
big on
Ball.
Super Nintendo, had a bunch of really good games.
I
I've,
love the original Zelda. Um,
yeah, that was a great game.
Super
Remember
Mario.
Zelda 2? Like
Yeah,
A
Donkey.
Link to the Past?
I love Donkey Kong. I love Frogger.
I heard the new Donkey Kong's like awesome, but
Is
it's
it
only
really?
on the Switch 2, which I don't think I'm getting anytime soon.
No, I'm not impressed with the Switch. So
Well, all right, maybe we do a video game version of this
I still think
next.
we have to do a movie review. And I'm
You gotta watch Superman.
Justin, what's going on, Justin? Justice, oh Justin. I know you were a pugilist. See, hey, you know what? You're in better shape than me. I couldn't hang as a boxer. I just play video games. Oh, and what was it? Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Speaking of boxing, I mean that's probably justice. That's probably as close as I could get. Is just Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So
That was a
you know,
classic.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. But it's interesting. Like my granddaughter is actually getting into Muay Thai. She's
Ooh,
she's like 8.
start them early.
Yeah, and hopefully she'll be able to like. Well, I'm worried about lawsuits and stuff. Things are getting softer around here, so I don't know.
Real soft.
Yeah, but I do want her to be able to protect herself, and that's important to me. Um, anyway,
She
well,
will
dude,
be able to.
I am looking forward to the next show. We'll have some new topics, listeners. If you can comment after the show's over, whatever, comment on something that you'd like to hear about or you'd like to talk about, something that you find interesting. It doesn't have to be something we find interesting, but it's just kind of cool to get into stuff. And I thought it was kind of fun to talk about airline etiquette. I thought that was a really great topic, and I hate we had to cut it short. Maybe next time we do the whole show about airline etiquette.
We could have. We went a good
Yeah.
over an hour just on
Dude,
that topic.
and just folks, if you missed the show, please remember, if you're on your phone and your phone is on speaker, it's fair game for anybody to join your conversation. Just remember that. But anyway,
That's what I learned tonight. That's my new move.
exactly. And you got to chime in with. You don't have to be vulgar, but you just have to chime in with the most outrageous thing that you can think of.
I'm totally doing this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get punched probably.
It's a moral imperative that you do this.
I'm in. All right. How do we wrap this show up?
We wrap the show up by saying adios.
Till next time.
All right. Later.